I've been quite a bit of pressure on me to say something about what is going on in the country and in the world vis-a-vis the statement credited to the President of the United States of America concerning the issue of genocide or no genocide in Nigeria. I am not speaking to the world. I am not speaking even to the Christian body. Why? Because I'm a man under authority. I've told you that a long, long time ago. In Nigeria, there is what is called the Christian Association of Nigeria. And we have a president of the Christian Association of Nigeria. And we are under his authority. Why am I a man under authority? It's because I've discovered from the Bible that a man, no matter his stature, who is not under authority, cannot cast out a demon. He can't. If he's not under authority and he's saying, demon, go, and it looks to you as if the demon has gone, well, since I was born, I had carried placards only twice. I have, what do you call it when you go around? You protest or process or whatever. Only 2 times. First time, 1964, as a student at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Enugu campus. I protested, I went on procession because the people who organized the protests are radicals. And if they say we are going on a procession and you don't join them, they come and meet you in your room in the hostel, and God have mercy on you. So, even though I didn't quite agree with what they are protesting about, Nsukka is a bit far from Ifewara. And I went to study, not to have my head broken. So when they said we'll go, I said, yes, here we go. The second time ever was some years ago when the current president at that time said all churches should protest around the streets where their churches are, protesting against killings going on in Nigeria. particularly against Christians. On that day, on the Sunday that he said we should go out, I went out around Ebute Metta. It was in the news. If you go into the archive, you see the television people. I think they came specially to cover me. And the focus of my placard, if I know a time like this will come, maybe I would have I would have kept a video. On my placard, I wrote, "Every soul is precious to God." That's what's in my own placard, and I carried it myself. Every soul is precious to who? To God. Christian souls, Muslim souls, even enemy souls. That's what I believe then. That's what I believe now. Because every soul you kill, for whatever reason, you are robbing God, the one who created every soul for his pleasure. And until the president of Khan says something about the issue that is going on, I will not be talking. What do you mean you will not be talking? I mean, I won't be talking to the people outside. There's nothing wrong in me talking to my own children. You see, there was a time in Nigeria when Christians and Muslims were living together in harmony. Is that correct? In my family, my elder sister was married to a Muslim. My father was a Christian, my mother was a Christian, but one of my sisters was married to a Muslim. The name in Yoruba, I don't know how they call it in the real Muslim something. His name was Adiatu. And so in my family, up to today, I have cousins whose name is Rasak. I have people who call Musili, whatever they call it, in the correct something, and so on and so forth. And we live together in peace. We live together in harmony. When it was Christmas, we do it together. When it's Ileya, oh. I had an uncle who loved me very well. And I tell you, anytime it was fasting time, I fasted. Not like him, oh. I fasted in that I didn't eat dinner. I waited for him to go to the mosque and return. Because I know when he returns, oh God, there'll be goody-goody. So my own fast began when it was almost breaking time. And I'm telling you, that man loved me like nobody else, even though my name is Enoch. He will wake me up in the night when they are finished preparing pounded yam, and we ate sari together. That didn't stop me from breakfast when going to school. I mean, there was peace, there was harmony, there was no quarrel. Until some crazy people just decided to introduce religion into politics. That's when everything went wrong. Now, you say, what about what is on the ground? Well, I'm talking to you, my children. In my own usual quiet way, I had related to all the presidents who were around when this trouble started. What did you tell them? Whatever I discuss between me and the big ones is top privacy. I have done my best, quietly, behind the scene. But as I've always told you, you can only advise the commander-in-chief. You can't command him. Because if you command the commander-in-chief, then you become the commander of the commander-in-chief. That doesn't make sense. But I've tried. And God is my witness. So then, I don't want to take much of your time. What should we do now? I'm talking to you as my children. If I were asked to make suggestions, I would say quietly to our government, move fast. Move diplomatically. Move wisely. Find a way to convince the President of America to please delay his actions for about 100 days. and then come home and tell our security chiefs get rid of these terrorists within 90 days or resign. Now that, I'm sure, will sound familiar to those of you who have been following situation in Nigeria. There was a president, unfortunately, he's dead now, that's Buhari, who issued such an order. Some of you will remember. Who called the service chief together and said, I give you 3 months. Get rid of all these Boko Haram people or resign. He's not around to tell you who gave him that advice. He ran with that advice, but he didn't follow it through. Because he gave the order as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But the security operatives moved fast. But 3 months went, and the work was not done. So I went to see him. It was in the news, so this time somehow the press got to know that I visited him. Of course, they were not there when we talked. And unfortunately, like I said, he's not alive now. Or else I would have asked you to go and ask him. Sir, why didn't you follow through? Because when 3 months passed and the work wasn't done, why didn't you proceed with your, are we going to call it threat? I won't tell you the details, but one thing came out of that meeting. Which would lead me to my next advice to our government. In case there's any of you who can get across to them. That when giving orders to the service chief this time round, we should make it clear to them that they are not only to eliminate the terrorists, they should eliminate their sponsors. No matter how influential they may be. When I say my people, when I say our leaders should move fast, move diplomatically, they have to be and move wisely. They must take note of the fact that if America should attack us, China is not coming to defend us. Russia will not come to defend us. All the so-called world leaders, they will talk. They will condemn what America had done in strongest terms. But that's all they will do. That's all. Britain is not going to come and help us. No foreign or no other foreign powers will come to our aid. This is not the time for joking. This is not the time for grammar. This is not the time for, I don't know a simple word for semantics. It's not the time when you begin to argue. Is it, what do you call it? Suicide, or what are they calling it? What's the language? Whatever they want to call it. And this is not the time for saying, it's not Christian alone. Muslims are also involved. The point is, people are dying. Innocent people are dying. I almost spoke last month when I heard the speech of my in-law, the president. When I heard the speech, particularly that section that spoke about security, and you can go and listen to it again, where I heard him say, all is well now, that displaced people have returned to their villages, and I almost said, the one who wrote that speech for my president, my in-law, does not like him. And if you want to say, what do you mean? Somebody wrote it, but it's the president who read it. Didn't he read it before he read it? Well, if you put it that way, then my conclusion will be there are several people around my beloved in-law who are not telling him the truth. But that's all right, because, I think the following day in the newspapers we read about a traditional ruler being killed, whether in Kwara or Kogi, while the wife was hiding somewhere in the house. But it's not the time for apportioning blames. Our president inherited this problem. It started before him. And in any case, I am an applied mathematician. I am more interested in just get the problem solved. That's all. Let's let the government use diplomatic method to convince President Trump to give us 100 days of grace. Call our service chiefs. Fortunately, they are new. Perform within 3 months or resign. Now, where do you come in? You want to ask me, Daddy, you want to tell us you had no idea that something like this is coming? I've told you I'm not a prophet. I only hear from God once in a while. But do you think I asked you to fast for 100 days for fun? Didn't I share with you, my children? Didn't I share with you that God says this will be a remarkable year? Didn't I share with you that God said that the wind that was blowing last year, that started blowing last year, is going to become a bit more violent this year? Did I tell you? Well, you know, each time we have a meeting like this, I'm not the one who chooses the theme. It's God. Whatever he asks me to talk on, that's what I talk on. Now, concerning what we are still discussing, by this time next week, we will be having a Holy Ghost service in Abuja. And when we were asking God what will be the theme, he gave us the theme, fear not. That's months ago, before Trump spoke. And anybody who knows the Bible knows that the only time God will say fear not is when there is something to fear. And so, when I put all these things together, I know in this year that God says will be remarkable. one way or the other, there will be peace again in Nigeria. But why do I ask my government to move fast? See, all these years, we have been praying for Nigeria. We can't pray all these prayers without something happening. Unless God is no longer on his throne and is on his throne. And you see, I'm saying it again. I'm a mathematician, an applied mathematician. And there is a law called Newton's law of motion. You know what it says? It says a body will remain at rest or maintain uniform motion in a straight line, except an external force compels it to do otherwise. That's Newton's law of motion. Meaning, whatever method God wants to use, at the end of it all, there will be peace in Nigeria again. And to you, my children, Daddy says, fear not. God bless you.